had been. Coils formed. Something ancient rose from the water.
Chineke biko nyere m aka. Anwụrụ m.
3 days later, they found him dead. But to understand what he saw, we must go back. Long before the night of screaming, there was a woman in Umweze, a married woman whose compound remained silent. In Umweze, the river is not just water. It listens, it remembers, and sometimes it answers. Year after year, her arms remained empty. The women spoke in lowered voices. Some pitied her, others did not. When silence filled her house again, she rose before dawn. She walked alone toward the river, to a place proud people avoid. And that night, she begged the river for a child. And when the child came, the night itself began to tremble. Inside the hut, the women waited. Thunder broke the sky. And in the middle of the storm, the child arrived. And the child was not like the others. She was marked. The earth trembled. That same night, Oma entered the world. Before the first cry faded, the priestess was already there. She did not smile. She did not rejoice. She only watched. The elder studied the child in silence.
Raise her well.
She named her Oma. But the river does not give for free. From that day, Oma was not owned by her mother. She was borrowed. Oma did not cry like other children. She watched, she listened, she seemed to wait. While others ran through the village dust, she stood apart, her eyes fixed beyond the trees.
I am listening.
Oma, come inside.
Yes, Mama.
The village had learned to live with silence. But silence does not remain unnoticed for long.
Oma, do you hear the river again?
It is louder today.
The others laughed, but they stepped back. And then, something beneath the water shifted.
Did you see that?
The river began to swell and churn, revealing something dark beneath.
Hey, look at what water.
The river had been quiet all day, until now, but Oma stayed.
Pull it back. Get away from the water.
And so they ran until the river was behind them.
That was no ordinary current. I have fished that river my whole life. I have never seen it move like that.
Before the sun had fully set, every compound in Umweze was speaking about the river. While the village whispered, one woman listened. Because she had heard stories about that river.
The river does not move without a reason.
And that night, the river had spoken. And long after the villagers fled, the river did not sleep. But someone in Umweze could hear it. The river was calling. And that night, the river called. Years passed, and the child grew. Some said Oma was a child of the river, the eye through which the river watched the village. The water rose. It heard her. For years, the river had waited. Something ancient stirred. A colossal presence rose. silver, ancient, watching. By the time Oma became a woman, the village had grown used to her quiet ways. To strangers, she seemed like any other daughter of Umweze. She worked the farms just like the other girls. But sometimes, the village felt something it could not explain. Even the waters seemed to know her. The other girls notice her courage as she dives in. The elders remembered the night the river rose.
That night changed everything.
The waters took so much.
We must prepare.
And then the drums called the daughters of Umweze. When the daughters of Umweze reached the age of marriage, the village gathered in the square. For on that day, the young men would choose their brides. And one by one, the brides were chosen. And then Oma stepped forward. And in that moment, he chose her. And the village felt that something had changed. As the years passed, the village began to notice. Oma had grown, but the river had not forgotten. And sometimes the earth moved when she passed. And those who carried darkness in their hearts feared her. There were some whose sins could not hide. Some tried to hide their deeds. Some tried to take what was not theirs. The evil people die once. The man who ran that night had betrayed his own blood. He took his brother's life and claimed the woman who was not his. But the river had already seen. For the river remembers what men try to hide. But no one runs from the river. He should not have come to the river.
Chineke biko nyere m aka. Anwụrụ m.
And he died. For the river knew her, and the spirit of the river watched its chosen child. The child the river gave was never like people, for the river had placed its eyes inside her soul. And from that day the people of Umweze walked carefully, for the river had given them eyes. And in Umweze, nothing stays hidden because the river still watches.
Open the gates! Open the gates! Jesus, help us! Open the gates!
Back! Get back now! He's not safe!
No, don't push! My children are inside!
Shut the gate now!
How long are we going to keep living like this?
I am trying.
After her husband died, Mama Oma came to Lagos believing suffering would finally leave them alone.
The room was small, but to Mama Oma, it still felt better than leaving her daughter without hope.
We'll be okay somehow.
From the moment they arrived in Lagos, Oma began noticing things she could not explain.
Oma?
Did you hear that?
In the crowded hospital, the doctors examined Oma thoroughly, but found nothing they could name.
All the tests are normal, madam. Medically, she's fine.
For the first time since arriving in Lagos, Mama Oma began to fear that nobody could truly help her daughter. So Mama Oma went to the only place she believed help still existed. And within hours she found herself standing before a church.
When medicine failed, hope arrived from a place Mama Oma never expected.
You are specially invited to worship with us.
Thank you. We really need this.
The Lord provides. You will be blessed.
Amen. We will come.
Yay, church!
Our pastor prays for children like her. Thank you. We need this.
At first, Pastor Emmanuel did not look like the kind of man people feared. He looked like a man who truly wanted to help.
Welcome to God's house. Let the Spirit move.
Please. Please, Dwi. Sit here.
Thank you.
Come, let the Spirit of the Lord move in you tonight. You are welcome here, all of you.
To the people who entered that church, Pastor Emmanuel looked like a man chosen by God.
Bring the child forward.
Thank you, Pastor.
Every spirit troubling this child.
But while the congregation celebrated, Oma stood there quietly. And for the first time, Pastor Emmanuel noticed something in the child that unsettled him. Oma, say something.
How long has she been like this?
Since her father died. That night, Mama Oma left the church believing her daughter's healing had finally begun. But Pastor Emmanuel could not stop thinking about the child.
Bring her back on Thursday.
Do you really think she can be helped?
Nothing is impossible with God.
In that small church, Pastor Emmanuel carried the kind of presence that made people believe heaven had finally remembered them.
For the first time in many months, Oma slept peacefully. And that small moment of peace was enough to make Mama Oma believe the prayers were working.
Thank you, Lord.
But peace did not stay long in that house. Because that same night, Oma woke up terrified.
He's standing there.
And when Thursday finally came, Mama Oma returned to the church exactly as Pastor Emmanuel had instructed. Because desperate people will always hold on to the last place that gives them hope.
The closer they came to the church, the more afraid Oma became. And Mama Oma still did not understand why.
After that night, Pastor Emmanuel could no longer ignore the feeling that something unusual surrounded the child. And the more he prayed for her, the more unsettled he became.
Oma, when you look at me, what do you see?
You should not touch me.
Don't touch me!
From that night onward, Pastor Emmanuel never looked at the child the same way again.
Before Lagos, before the crowd, before people began calling him powerful, Pastor Emmanuel was just a poor village preacher trying not to lose his faith. In those days, Pastor Emmanuel owned almost nothing. But the people of Umunze believed he carried a good heart.
Pastor Emmanuel, you are going to church this early again?
God's work does not wait for anyone.
Please, Pastor. She has not stood up in weeks.
God has not forgotten your child.
She stood up.
Praise God.
In those early years, people believed Pastor Emmanuel's prayers carried something pure. And sometimes,
You came home late again.
The prayer service lasted longer today.
The landlord came again. We still owe him money. Sometimes I wonder if God still sees us.
He does.
People saw the miracles inside the church, but nobody saw the suffering waiting for Pastor Emmanuel when he returned home.
In the village, people respected Pastor Emmanuel's prayers, but respect could not silence the humiliation waiting for him outside the church. All these prayers and still no child. What kind of pastor cannot even build his own family? He must be cursed.
And when we go home, they look at me like I failed as a woman. I pray.
So why has he forgotten mine?
Exactly. I will still be in the faith, God.
and slowly, the suffering began to change him.
The entire roof is leaking again! How long have we been like this?
Don't try!
We pray every day, we suffer every day, and still nothing changes. I am tired, Emmanuel, so tired.
What else does God want from me?
Night after night, the suffering followed them home.
And slowly,
The man who once preached hope
began losing it himself.
Lord, I don't understand anymore, Lord. Have you forgotten us?
For years, Pastor Emmanuel kept praying for heaven to answer him. But suffering has a dangerous way of changing even good men.
She needs proper treatment urgently, but this clinic cannot handle her condition.
There must be something you can do!
She needs medicine. She needs oxygen. She needs to go to the city hospital.
I don't have that kind of money.
Emmanuel, do not cry for me.
No, Mama, you cannot leave me now! Lord, please, not my mother.
For years, Pastor Emmanuel had prayed for other people. But now, the man of God was finally facing a prayer he could not control.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
He prayed for so many people.
But he could not save his own mother. I prayed every night, Tui. Why didn't you answer me?
That burial changed Pastor Emmanuel forever. Because for the first time in his life, he began wondering if heaven was truly listening.
Who is that?
Who are you? A friend. I see your pain. Why now? Because you need strength.
If you ever become tired of suffering, you will call me. And after the burial,
Temptation finally came looking for Pastor Emmanuel, but it did not arrive looking like evil.
You have suffered enough. This is not for me. It is peace. It feels wrong.
That I serve God. And whatever you are offering me, not today. But suffering changes people. When you finally become tired of praying, you will remember me.
Who was that man?
Pastor Emmanuel still believed he could endure the suffering, so he sent temptation away. But some seeds do not die after they are planted.
Emmanuel,
What is it?
I'm pregnant.
Pregnant after all this time?
Yes, my love, we're finally blessed.
Oh, Mozi.
I went to the clinic yesterday.
After all these years.
The roof finally stopped leaking.
Peace at last.
And after Sylvester left, months quietly passed. The suffering did not disappear, but slowly, peace began returning to the house again.
After the darkness, heaven has finally answered. Our child is a miracle of faith. Hallelujah. Let us rejoice.
Sometimes, God waits until you are completely broken before reminding you that He never left. God finally remembered this house.
And slowly,
Pastor Emmanuel began believing again.
but sometimes,
Darkness waits patiently for hope to return with.
She kicks a lot now.
our child will never suffer the way we suffered. What is it?
It's not.
Emmanuel!
The baby!
I'm here, hold on!
It hurts so much!
We have to get to the clinic!
It hurts!
Drive faster, please!
My baby!
Hold on, we're getting help! Bring her in, quickly!
Please save my baby!
Her condition is not stable. The baby cannot come naturally.
She needs surgery immediately. If we delay, we may lose the baby.
How much?
The child they had waited years for was finally coming. But once again, poverty stood at the door before Pastor Emmanuel.
Push Nosy! The baby's in distress. I can't, it hurts!
What's happening? Save them! Nosy, hold on! Our child is coming!
Hurts the baby!
Dr. Hurry, she's fading!
We tried our best, but the baby did not survive.
Lying! Not our child! I'm so sorry. Why? God, why?
Our baby's gone. Why does God keep punishing us?
That night, something inside Pastor Emmanuel finally died. And when grief becomes heavier than faith, darkness no longer looks frightening. It begins to look
necessary.
I knew you would call. I can't let that suffer like this.
You have prayed long enough. Now it is time for another kingdom to answer you.
Come to Lagos.
Come alone.
Pastor Emmanuel stopped waiting for heaven.
If we had the money, our child would still be alive.
That friend who came to see me after my mother's burial, he said he might be able to help.
He lives in Lagos now. He wants me to come see him.
What kind of friend?
We went to school together.
I will go to Lagos tomorrow.
For how long?
He said I should come alone.
And little by little, Pastor Emmanuel stopped telling the full truth, because darkness rarely enters through one big lie.
Sometimes
it enters quietly.
When will you come back?
Mr. Sylvester sent me.
And before the village woke up, but he did not know that some journeys change a man forever.
What is that sound? You will understand soon.
And for the first time, Pastor Emmanuel entered the world hidden behind power.
Not every door is opened through prayer. What is inside there? The reason powerful men remain power. After tonight, you will never be poor again.
And standing before that door, Pastor Emmanuel still had one last chance to walk away, but pain had already weakened his soul.
This is evil.
No. This is power. Governors come here. Businessmen come here. And pastors come here.
And inside that room, Pastor Emmanuel finally saw the price hidden behind power. And for the first time, darkness began sounding reasonable to him.
Nothing in this world is free. Not wealth, not influence, and certainly not power. You have already suffered enough. Your fathers buried your mother. But this kingdom can give you everything heaven refused to give you.
There is no turning back now. Pain brought you here. Now you'll never let you leave the same.
And that was the night Pastor Emmanuel crossed the line he could never cross back from. And somewhere inside that darkness, grace finally left him. And after returning from Lagos, Pastor Emmanuel came back to his old church, but the man who returned was not completely the same man who left. Ngozi continues watching Emmanuel carefully. He no longer looks defeated, and from that day, people stopped seeing Pastor Emmanuel as an ordinary man, because suddenly, heaven finally seemed to answer him. But what the church did not know was that something else had answered instead. And as the miracles continued, Pastor Emmanuel's name began spreading beyond the village. People traveled from distant towns to see him. And for the first time in many years, poverty slowly began leaving his home. And not long after, Pastor Emmanuel moved to Lagos. The village pastor was now becoming a city preacher, and Lagos opened its doors to him quickly. And as the miracles continued, the crowds grew larger, the offerings increased. And before long, Pastor Emmanuel became one of the fastest rising pastors in Lagos. People traveled from everywhere to receive prayers. And many truly believed that God was working through him. But then, for the first time, something inside that church became afraid of Pastor Emmanuel. And that Thursday night, a widow walked into Pastor Emmanuel's church with her daughter. She came searching for help, for healing, for hope. And the moment Oma saw Pastor Emmanuel, something inside her became terrified. Because sometimes, children see darkness long before adults do. After Pastor Emmanuel asked them to return the following Thursday, something inside Oma refused to go back. The child could not explain it, but deep inside, she had already seen something that frightened her. And still, her mother carried her back to that church. The closer they came to the church, the more afraid Oma became, and Mama Oma still did not understand why.
After that night, Pastor Emmanuel could no longer ignore the feeling that something unusual surrounded the child. And the more he prayed for her, the more unsettled he became.
Oma, when you look at me, what do you see?
You should not touch me.
Don't touch me!
From that night onward, Pastor Emmanuel never looked at the child the same way again.
After Oma ran from that altar, something inside the church changed. People tried pretending everything was normal, but deep down, the fear had already entered the room.
That night, Oma could not forget what she saw inside that church. The child did not understand it. And while the church tried moving on, fear quietly remained behind, because somewhere deep inside, Ngozi Pastor Emmanuel's wife had also started feeling that something was terribly wrong. And suddenly, the same man who once could not feed his family now lived like royalty. And Lagos bowed before Pastor Emmanuel. But inside that beautiful house, peace had quietly disappeared a long time ago. And before long, Pastor Emmanuel's church became one of the largest in Lagos. The poor worshipped him, And while Lagos celebrated Pastor Emmanuel, the man himself was slowly disappearing. Because sometimes, what the greatest danger is not the darkness people can see. It is the darkness hiding behind success. And the more Pastor Emmanuel touched people, the miracles became bigger, the crowds became larger and small. And the more Pastor Emmanuel touched people, the more Lagos worshipped him. The crowds became larger, but the fear inside the church could no longer stay hidden.
And even though Pastor Emmanuel's church continued growing, but the whispers quietly continued spreading. People still chased miracles, but deep in
Ngozi began noticing a pattern. Children were becoming afraid of Pastor Emmanuel.
And while the church celebrated miracles, Ngozi quietly began noticing things that no longer felt normal. Small things, hidden things, things Pastor Emmanuel never wanted anybody to see. And in that moment, Ngozi realized the fear inside the church was not imaginary. And for the first time, she became truly afraid of the man she married. And just when Ngozi thought the darkness could not grow worse, the man who first opened the door returned again. And in that moment, Ngozi finally understood something terrifying. He had only learned to... And slowly, questions began appearing where faith once lived. Quiet questions, dangerous questions. And before long, the whispers stopped sounding like rumors. They were becoming questions. And questions have a way of bringing secrets into the light. At first, people thought she was simply worried. Another concerned mother, another family problem. But this time, something felt different. At first, people believed it was one family's tragedy. But then another mother came, and then another. And that was when Ngozi saw the pattern. These were not random disappearances.
These were not random disappearances. These were not isolated stories. Something connected them, and Ngozi already feared where that trail might lead.
Mama Oma returned to the church that day, not as the broken woman who had left, but as someone who had found a terrible strength. Mama Oma had listened when her daughter became afraid. Other mothers had not been given that warning. And standing outside that church, Oma had his answer. She realized something terrible. Oma had escaped, but somebody else's daughter had not. And for the first time, Ngozi stopped looking for answers and started finding them. And suddenly, Ngozi understood something terrifying. These girls were not connected by coincidence. They were connected by the church. And somewhere in that building, someone already knew she was getting close. And once the story escaped, it began moving faster than anyone could stop. The questions multiplied, the fear multiplied. And for the first time, the people outside the church wanted something more than miracles. They wanted answers.
Open the gates! Open the gates! Jesus, help us! Open the gates!
Back! Get back now! He's not safe!
No! Don't push! My children are inside!
Shut the gate now!
And while the rain washed over Lagos, mothers searched for their daughters, fathers searched for answers. And behind those gates, something far darker was waiting to be discovered. And that night, the kingdom Pastor Emmanuel built had unit the nails.
began to fall. But the worst secrets had not yet been revealed.
The truth stood quietly inside the church. And on that night, while Lagos searched for answers, Ngozi finally found the truth. The man she married was gone.
The children, they are still alive!
Sister Bass had escaped, but powerful people were already moving to find her. And with every passing hour, the hunt grew larger.
Pastor Emmanuel, the allegations!
No! Let me go! Help! Somebody!
These accusations are nothing but the arrows of the envious. They see the glory of this ministry and seek to bring it down. But no weapon fashioned against us shall prosper.
Across the country, people watched in disbelief. Parents demanded answers. Questions grew louder. But Pastor Emmanuel remained determined to protect both his ministry and his reputation.
Who is this woman? Who is she? I found these photographs hidden in this room. Pastor Emmanuel, how long has this been going on?
Sister Bass had survived the night, but survival and safety are not the same thing. The forest was behind her, the danger was not.
They're still out there.
For the first time since her escape, she allowed herself to stop running. But fear would not let her rest.
Is anyone there?
The wounds on her body would heal. It was the things she had seen that frightened her most. They had not given up, not for one moment. And that was when Sister Bass realized something terrifying. They were never going to stop looking for her. The people searching for Sister Bass were not protecting a secret. They were protecting a lie. And somewhere beyond the forest, children were still waiting to be found.
Days had passed since Sister Bass disappeared. But something about her disappearance refused to make sense. The answers she expected to find were missing. And the questions only continued to grow. Then Ngozi discovered something unexpected. Sister Basse had been searching for answers long before she vanished.
While Ngozi searched for answers, the nightmares continued. Back in Mama Oma's small house, the memories that haunted Oma refused to leave her alone. Each night they returned, the corridor, the darkness, the faces she could not forget.
And with every passing day, the memories grew stronger. At first it came as fragments, a sound, a face, a voice.
Mama, Sister Bass saved me.
And in that moment, the pieces began to move into place.
Sister Bass had not disappeared by accident. She had seen something, and she had tried to stop it.
The nightmare ended, but the fear remained.
Oma, what is troubling you?
Oma, what are you drawing?
Oma, where did you see this place? Oma, where did you see this place?
I don't know, but I remember it.
Some memories return slowly, not as words, not as answers, but as fragments.
While Oma struggled to remember the truth, Ngozi continued searching for it. And the deeper she looked, the more dangerous the mystery became. The more Ngozi searched, the more she felt that Sister Bass had been trying to tell someone the truth.
Then she found something Sister Basse never intended to leave behind. I know these names.
Sister Bass, why were you investigating these children? And in that moment, Ngozi understood something she had been unwilling to believe. Sister Bass had not disappeared. She had discovered something dangerous.
Several weeks passed. The television cameras disappeared, the protesters went home, and the questions that once filled the streets slowly grew quiet. Life moved on. But the truth remained buried. Pastor Emmanuel had money, he had influence, and he had people willing to protect him. The investigation slowed, the questions were buried, and no one was ever held accountable. The world moved on. But Pastor Emmanuel could not. Because there was one problem his money could not solve.
The world believed Pastor Emmanuel had won. The cameras were gone. The questions had faded, and the church continued to prosper. To the world, Pastor Emmanuel had everything: power, wealth, influence. But there was one thing money could not give him.
For years, Pastor Emmanuel had accepted the gifts Odogu placed before him: power, wealth, influence. The crowds came, the miracles continued, and his name became known across the nation. But standing in that empty room, surrounded by everything he had gained, Pastor Emmanuel could think only about what was missing. A child. A future that carried his name. And for the first time in many years, he found himself wondering whether there was one final gift he had never asked for. But far from the mansion, another battle was just beginning. Against all odds, Sister Bass had survived the night. But survival was no longer enough. If the truth was ever going to be heard, she would have to leave her hiding place behind. Every step demanded strength she no longer possessed. But fear kept her moving, because she knew exactly what would happen if they found her first. To those passing by, she was just another stranger beside the road. No one knew she carried a secret powerful people were willing to kill to protect. For the first time since her escape, Sister Bass allowed herself to feel the weight of what she carried. The children were alive. While Sister Bass struggled to stay hidden, Ngozi continued searching for the answers she left behind.
Most people would have walked away, but some questions refused to stay buried. What Ngozi did not know was that she was no longer the only person interested in Sister Bass' notebook.
For the first time, Ngozi realized she was no longer asking questions unnoticed. Someone knew, someone was watching, and whoever they were, they wanted her to stop.
The visit from the strangers refused to leave her mind. Too many questions remained unanswered. For years, Ngozi had respected her husband's wishes. She had never asked questions. She had never gone near the room. But tonight, something felt different. And for the first time, the door was open.
The room was unlike any other part of the house. And the moment Ngozi stepped inside, she knew something was wrong. At first, Ngozi struggled to understand what she was seeing. But she knew enough to realize this was no ordinary room. And then she found something far more disturbing. Something she knew had no business being there.
The deeper Ngozi looked, the less she understood. And yet, she could not bring herself to stop. And then, she noticed something she had missed before. A secret that had been hiding in plain sight.
At first, the names meant nothing, but the longer Ngozi looked, the more familiar they became. And then she recognized one of the faces, a child whose name appeared inside Sister Bass' notebook.
But Ngozi was no longer thinking about the photographs.
because suddenly she realized she might not be alone. The room had already revealed too much, but the danger was only beginning.
For the first time, Ngozi understood exactly how dangerous the truth could be.
And then someone entered the room.
Hidden behind the cabinet, Ngozi could do nothing but wait and pray she had not been discovered. It was not a stranger. It was Pastor Emmanuel himself.
What are you doing in this room? Who told you to come in here?
Far from the mansion, Sister Basses was finally leaving the forest behind. But escaping the forest did not mean escaping her fear. While questions and secrets collided inside the mansion, the woman at the center of it all was finally leaving the forest behind. The forest was finally behind her, but the memories she carried were not. She had escaped with her life, but she had not escaped the truth. And sooner or later, that truth would have to be told.
And then, for the first time since her escape, Sister Bass began to talk.
I thought I'd never get out. They were everywhere. I ran through the night. For the first time in days, Sister Bass was somewhere safe. But safety did not make her fear disappear.
If you're injured, I can take you to a hospital.
No. Please. Don't call anybody.
My name is Emeka. You're safe here.
For now.
You don't want the police there. You don't want a hospital. So who are you running from?
You're very powerful. They are powerful people.
It started at a church.
A church? What happened?
Pastor Emmanuel's church.
The moment she spoke Emmanuel's name, Emeka stopped breathing. For the first time, Sister Bass realized she was not the only person afraid of Pastor Emmanuel.
You know him? Don't you?
Yes, I knew him.
Know him? I worked for him. For years.
Some stories begin with a mistake. Emeka's began with a journey he should never have taken.
What happened? Why are you hiding?
I'm not. It's complicated.
We share a connection to the same man. Long before Sister Bass arrived at the guest house, another life had already been destroyed.
When nobody else wanted him, the church opened its doors, and Emeka gave it everything he had.
Well done, Emeka.
Over the years, Emeka became one of the pastor's most trusted workers. He believed he was serving God.
Then came the journeys, the ones nobody talked about, the ones that only happened after dark.
Where are we going? What's in the boxes?
That was the night Emeka realized something was terribly wrong.
Help us. Don't leave us.
And that was when he saw something he was never supposed to see.
The moment they realized he knew the truth, Emeka became a target. They called him a thief. They called him a criminal. And because Pastor Emmanuel was powerful, nobody believed his story.
They called him a thief. They called him a criminal. And because Pastor Emmanuel was powerful, nobody believed his story. For the first time, Sister Bass realized she was not alone. Someone else had seen the darkness. Different journeys, different wounds, but the same enemy.
For days, fear had kept the truth trapped inside her. But now, she was finally ready to tell her story. Now Emeka knew. Now Sister Bass had spoken. And for the first time, Pastor Emmanuel's secret was no longer safe.
While Sister Bass was revealing the truth, another secret was threatening to come undone. For the first time, Pastor Emmanuel realized his wife had seen what was never meant to be found. The room held too many questions, and Pastor Emmanuel had too many answers.
This woman, who is she? I found these photographs hidden in this room. How's the Emmanuel? How long has this been going on? First it was the rumors, then the missing children. And this is what you're doing to me, Adeyu. All these years I stood by you. I can't do this anymore. I can't do free.
Rosie believed the greatest problem in her marriage was the child they never had. But that night, she began to wonder if she knew the man she married.
As Ngozi sat alone with her heartbreak, Emmanuel drove into the night. Somewhere in Lagos, he believed he could still find peace. Pastor Emmanuel ran to whenever life became difficult was not his home. It was the home of a woman named Ijoma, one of the church members.
You promised me. You said you would leave your wife. I've waited 3 years. How much longer?
There's something else. I'm pregnant.
Not now, Ijo.
Pastor Emmanuel had spent years praying for a child. But not like this.
What do you mean, not now? You wanted this. You've always wanted this.
You don't understand. If this gets out, everything is finished.
You promised me a future. You promised me a family.
The child he had prayed for had become a problem. And Pastor Emmanuel was running out of places to hide.
You have to get rid of it.
What? No, I won't!
We cannot keep this child.
How can you say that? It's our child!
I waited 3 years for you. I will never do such a thing. This is my child.
If you keep this child, then we are finished. We are over!
The place Pastor Emmanuel once ran to for peace had become another source of pain. And for the first time, everything he had spent years building was beginning to collapse. The pastor who once comforted others could no longer comfort himself. He had lost the peace of his home, and now he was losing himself.
You promised. You said you would give me everything.
No amount of money, no amount of power, No amount of miracles could silence the memory. While Pastor Emmanuel worried about protecting his secrets, far away from Lagos, those secrets were beginning to unravel. Because for the first time, Sister Bass was no longer running alone. She had finally told Emeka everything about the settlement, the guards, the missing children. The children were alive. They had never been lost. They had been hidden.
We have to fight back.
Emeka knew things most people did not. Roads, vehicles, places hidden from ordinary eyes. And for the first time,
while Pastor Emmanuel was losing control, Sister Bass and Emeka were running out of time. Then Emeka realized something. They already knew someone on the inside, someone he had worked closely with. While Pastor Emmanuel fought to hold his secrets together, another truth was about to reach Ngozi.
Pastor Emmanuel fought his own demons. Two people were making a decision that would change everything.
We have to decide tonight.
I know, it's not easy.
But we must.
Yes.
They finally knew the truth.
But truth alone would not save them.
Ngozi, it's me. Please don't hang up. I know this sounds impossible. There are things you need, Emma. Things about Emmanuel.
Ngozi thought the worst thing she would learn that night was that her husband had betrayed her.
Because the voice on the other end brought news she never expected to hear. For years, Ngozi stood beside her husband. But tonight, she would have to decide whether to stand beside the truth.
Once Ngozi heard the truth, she could no longer pretend everything was normal.
I can't ignore this.
The evidence was right there.
I must face it. For the first time, Ngozi was not searching for answers.
She was searching for proof. For years, the evidence had been hidden in plain sight.
Emmanuel, I received a call tonight from Sister Basse. She's alive.
That's impossible. Whoever called you wasn't Sister Basse.
You're upset.
You've been under too much stress.
What Emmanuel did not know was that he was already too late. And in that moment, Pastor Emmanuel stopped protecting his secrets. He started hunting the people who knew them.
For months, parents searched, communities prayed, and the world believed the children had vanished. But the truth was hidden far away from curious eyes.
It looked ordinary.
That was the point.
This was no accident. This was no misunderstanding.
Then came the order. Find Sister Bass.
The children knew him. The guards obeyed him. And the settlement belonged to him.
How did you let her get away? Sister Basse should never have escaped. Do you understand what you've done?
For the first time, the truth had been discovered. And Pastor Emmanuel was coming for everyone who knew it.
In the village of Umuwezi, land of red earth and ancient rivers, every sunrise carried a story. This is not a story of weakness. This is a story of waiting, of faith.
This is the home of Obina and Neka, with promise and with dreams that stretch beyond this red earth.
We will farm well today.
Yes, we will.
Each morning, they walked this path, into the land that fed them, into the work they shared. They worked the land with patience and with hope.
This soil is perfect for it.
Yes, it will grow strong.
Our best work yet.
Together.
There was a time when things were simple between Neka and Obina. They rose with the sun, and Neka walked the narrow path to the market square. She greeted the morning as she always did.
Sister, come buy my fresh yams.
Good morning. Your greens look
Best
nice.
price for you.
Don't go, see my tomatoes too.
It's Eke market day. Let me go and buy things for my egusi soup. These tomatoes look so fresh today.
God bless you. How much na 500 naira? Ah, my sister, for you 500 naira. These greens look wonderful. Pick them fresh today. I'll take some tomatoes too, of course. Okada man, over here.
Are they come?
Let's go to Mweze. Thank you. We're home. Good morning, Amaka. The water is clear today. Yes, Neka, it will be a good day. I got plenty today. Good. Let me help. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. This egusi soup goes sweet well. Time to take the meat out. Now the pot is empty. Add in palm oil and some onions. Let me add some egusi now. Now for the crayfish, a pinch of salt and some fresh vegetables. My husband, the food is almost ready.
It smells nice.
Make we eat, my husband.
My wife, this food tastes sweeter.
But the years passed and no child came. The yard remained quiet. No laughter, only waiting.
Obina, I am trying.
Trying is not enough. Born me a child, Neka.
You think I don't want to?
Then do it! Neka, I am going to get another wife.
Obina, no, it's God that gives children.
10 years passed, 10 long years, and still no child. The village began to talk. Obina could no longer bear it. And that evening, and so, Obina made a choice. He said he could not wait any longer.
Obina, I am so happy to give you a baby boy. He is perfect, my love.
Shh, my little one, it's all right. One home would soon overflow with life, while another waited in silence. Amaka bore him children, 1, then 2, until there were 7. That night, Neka did not sleep. 10 years had passed, 10 years without a child. The laughter in the other house reached her ears. She sat alone under the moon. She wept in silence, and the weight became too heavy for her to carry.
God, remember me!
Neka began to cry. The weight in her heart broke loose, and the night heard her sorrow.
She did not cry to people. She cried to heaven.
And heaven answered, not with thunder, not with noise, but in the quiet of the morning. And that night, Obina saw her tears, and something in him softened. Before the dawn could fully rise, they knelt beneath the ancient tree, not as husband and wife alone, but as two souls carrying the same wound. Yet their faith was not. She lifted her hands. He held them steady, and together they waited for heaven. For the first time in 10 years, hope had weight.
My love, the baby is kicking.
Our strong child, I feel it.
He will be a great man like his father.
And heaven answered, more than she imagined.
3 children.
God remembered me.
Her tears did not end in pain. They became a legacy.
Neka, my love, are you well?
Yes, Obina, I am strong.
They are perfect, a blessing.
Our joy. The woman who once knelt in sorrow now stood in honor, and the story the village once whispered.
My wife has given birth to 3 children. 3, a blessing.
Wonderful news.
Neka, our honor is restored. Our joy is full today.
The song carried through the village, but this was only the beginning. And the years did not stand still. The miracle did not remain small.
The tears that once fell in silence now ran across the yard in laughter. Hope had taken shape, and it had names. And the children did not remain small. The laughter that once filled the yard grew into footsteps of strength.
They matured. One grew to heal the sick,
One shaped the minds of the young.
and the village felt it. And the village did not forget. The woman who once wept in silence now sat surrounded by her reward. The same yard that heard her prayers now echoed with celebration. Her tears had not been wasted.
Mama, you try for us. Oh.
You strong well. You be the best mama anybody fit get.
If not for you, if we're not here today.
They called her mother of legacy, not because she bore children, but because she raised pillars. Some victories are not loud, they are lived. The woman who once waited now stood in honor, and every heart learned God writes different endings. Some begin in tears, but they do not end there. Once, she was the new bride. The drums beat for her name. The village called her blessed. Her courtyard filled first. Years passed. Amaka sits in the quiet, and time reveals it. And sometimes the loudest lessons are not spoken. They are watched from a distance. And every mother learns, legacy is not counted. It is cultivated in silence. And so, time reveals what patience builds and what pride cannot.
Tie him tighter. He won't escape. Look at him. He doesn't even look afraid. A proud man, but he will learn. He looks like no wanderer I've seen before. Who is he?
He doesn't look like a criminal.
That is the man they brought.
Silence! Bring the stranger forward. I have broken no law of Umwes, but if I must answer before your elders, then I will stand.
If he has broken a law, let the elders show us the truth.
Why defend stranger? Amara, the judgment of strangers is not the place for reckless words. Return to your place.
I spoke only for fairness, elder.
The people of Umweze believed they were judging a stranger, but the man standing before them was not who they believed. To understand the stranger standing in Umweze that day, we must return to the kingdom from which he came. Umweze was only one village among many. All of them lived under the rule of a powerful king. Far from those villages lived the king's first son. One day, Prince Emeka would inherit the throne. But the king who ruled those villages had grown old and weary, and the kingdom soon needed a new ruler. Prince Emeka had grown far from the villages of his father's kingdom. The people knew their king, but they did not know his son. The king had taken 2 wives in his lifetime, and each woman had given him a son. Prince Emeka had grown far from the quiet villages of the kingdom. He learned the ways of the wider world. But one day, a messenger arrived from the palace. The king had sent for his son to return home. And so the prince returned to the kingdom of his father. The people gathered to welcome the son of their king. Inside the Obi, the old king waited for his son. The future of the kingdom now stood before him.
Welcome home, my son. Yes, father.
You're many years far from Vigdom. Land for many years, but even great rulers cannot escape the passing of time. But the king had another wife, and like many who live close to power, she had dreams of her own. Live close to power, she had dreams of her own. So the prince has returned. The kingdom celebrates him already.
Mother, he is the first son.
The first son does not always become the king. In every royal house, the path to the throne is rarely simple.
You come to my shrine in the night, woman. What do you seek?
Future. My son must sit on the throne.
Then the first son must fall.
While the kingdom prepared for a new future, a darker plan was already taking shape.
When the prince eats this, his mind will scatter like dust in the wind. The people will say he has gone mad.
Then the throne will belong to my son.
Be careful, woman. The spirits always demand a price.
In the quiet of the night, a dangerous plan had begun. But fate often protects those whose path is not yet finished.
Take it and do not fail.
And so the charm left the shrine that night.
My son, you have traveled far. Eat something and regain your strength.
Thank you, Lady Funanya.
But the prince remembered something his mother once told him.
Never accept food from the hands of those who smile without warmth.
Forgive me, I am not hungry tonight.
He refused my food, but the game is not finished. Harm had failed, but ambition rarely surrenders after the first defeat.
My son, the kingdom will soon need a new ruler. Father, I have not lived among these people. I have spent my years in the city building my life. That is why you were sent there to learn wisdom. I cannot rule people whose heart I do not understand. Leadership is not chosen when a man feels ready.
The prince respected his father, but his heart was still uncertain. Queen Nkem, the first wife of the king, and the mother of Prince Emeka. The throne is not only a crown.
Mother, I fear ruling people I do not know. How can a man rule his people if he does not know their hearts?
And so the prince began to understand something important. Before a man can lead his people, he must first know who they truly are. Long before that day, a prince had made a decision that would test the hearts of his own people. Before dawn touched the kingdom, the prince laid down the signs of his royalty. For the first time in his life, Prince Emeka would walk the world as an ordinary man.
Father, I will walk among the people, not as their prince, but as one of them. Then you must live as they live. Eat their food, walk their roads, hear their truth.
And so the king allowed his son to do what few princes had ever dared. For the first time in his life, Prince Emeka walked the road not as a prince, but as a stranger. And so Prince Emeka left the palace that morning to discover the truth that no throne could ever show him. The road before him would lead to many villages, and to the moment when a prince would be mistaken for a beggar. And so the prince walked the roads of his father's kingdom as a stranger no one would recognize. For the first time in his life, Prince Emeka would see the world through the eyes of the forgotten.
Bring him forward!
Yes, let's bring him to the center!
But the truth standing before them would soon test the heart of the entire village. Sometimes the fate of a kingdom is decided in the hearts of ordinary people.
That is the thief!
The stranger had barely stepped into Umweze when the village turned against him.
Silence!
In Umweze, the word of the elders carried the weight of the gods.
Stranger, what is your name? My name is Emeka.
He did not bow his head. He did not tremble. He looked the elders in the eye.
Where do you come from? And why were you near the goat pen? I passed through the village. I am a traveler. I passed through the village and I haven't stolen anything. Elders, I did what I had to do.
But his words did not satisfy the elders.
He's lying! Take him to the shrine.
And with those words, his fate was sealed. But before that night, something had already begun. Where is my son?
My queen, we have not seen him.
And in that moment, the palace knew something was wrong. My lady, the prince has left the palace. He travels as a stranger. So he has left.
And in that moment, a plan began to form. My king, I have made this special meal for you.
Emeka has gone. He walks among the people as one of them.
The king loved his first wife, but the second knew his heart was not hers, so she made him speak without knowing.
Go, search every village, find him. Guard.
Yes, my lady.
There were many villages, but only 5 within reach. So she sent her men into every one of them.
And so they went, from village to village, not as warriors, but as shadows, watching, listening, searching for one man. And then they entered Umweze, a village like any other. But this one held the man they were looking for.
Brother, have you seen a man new here? No, I haven't seen anyone new. Have you seen a man new in this village? Yes, there is one.
And when the answer came again, they knew they were close.
You sell goats, don't you? I will buy one. Tomorrow you will say your goat is missing, and that stranger took it.
But that is not true, Kit.
No one will question you.
And for a price, truth was sold, and a lie was given life. In Umweze, truth was not decided by men, it was left to the gods.
He is accused of theft. The gods will judge him.
He will drink. If he is guilty, he will not live.
But the gods do not lie.
He is not guilty.
And in that moment, truth stood before them.
And when truth had spoken, one voice rose among them. He is not a thief. He is not guilty. The spirits have spoken. Thank you. Come, let's go. And in that moment, kindness stood among them.
And away from the noise, kindness found him.
Eat, you need strength.
Thank you.
And in her quiet way, she gave him more than food. Morning came, and with it a choice.
I must leave.
I understand.
I cannot stay. I still have a journey.
Then go, but go safely. Though their paths parted, something had already begun.
And so he walked on, from a place where death almost found him, still searching for the hearts of his people, toward another village, Umuimo. But far away, the story had reached another ear.
My lady, he did not die. He has cleft the village.
Then he must not leave. The plans are failing, my lady. Then we turn to something darker. And when her plans began to fail, she listened more carefully. There is a place deep inside the forest where powerful men call death. Take me there. And so she chose a path that could not be undone.
And so, he left the village that almost destroyed him and walked into another. He had seen cruelty,
He had seen judgment.
but still chose to know the hearts of his people.
Please, I beg you. Can you spare any food?
We have nothing to spare.
Please. I am hungry. Anything.
Who are you? Where did you come from? Why are you standing here like a thief?
I am no thief. I am only a man asking for food. If you are hungry, go and walk, not beg.
And the prince was seen as nothing.
My son, why are you sitting here like this? Come. You will not stay here. Not like this. Here, eat. I will take you with me so you can have somewhere to stay.
Thank you.
You can stay as long as you want until you get on your feet.
Thank you, Mama.
In a land that rejected him, one woman saw him.
But far from the village, inside the palace, there was one who would not let go of power. But far from the mercy of men, inside the palace, a heart still burned. She walked where even spirits warned the living to turn back. The forest showed her its guardians.
I have to keep going, no matter what.
Is this worth all the trouble? All this wahala? I will not stop. Not now.
And in that moment, the forest decided her fate.
No! I said no!
She walked into darkness, and darkness walked back into her.
You are stronger than I thought. But you are not untouched.
The shrine had not taken her life. A